During holiday travel, some people get delirious, some get delayed, and some get Del Griffin.
American Light and Fixture, Director of Sales, Shower Curtain Ring Division.
So instead of Thanksgiving with his family, he's spending 3 days with the turkey. Steve Martin, John Candy. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
Welcome to Fanboy and the Snob. I'm Chad.
I am Chris.
And today we're talking about planes, trains, and automobiles. Why are we doing that today?
Whoa.
Whoa,
We got a green screen. We talked about it because Thanksgiving's coming up, and this is the best Thanksgiving movie.
Yes, it is.
I can't think of any others.
Maybe you can watch Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
Never seen it.
Jim Henson made a turkey movie, I guess. I don't know anything about it. Actually, I take that back. This is the second best Thanksgiving-related media. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force episode where the time-traveling turkey comes back, and it's just the same thing as the Christmas episode, but instead of a time-traveling Santa robot or whatever, it's a time-traveling turkey robot. Stars Steve Martin and John Candy, and directed by John Hughes in 1987. Pretty much a winning team. Can't go wrong.
Oh, John Candy, man, I miss him.
Well, you've never seen Uncle Buck, so you don't even get to pretend like you liked him.
So Cool Runnings.
Oh boy, you and everyone else. That's actually a compliment to John Candy is, oh, you and everyone else has seen his movie. Of course, it's fucking John Candy.
I feel like Steve Martin's always had white hair from what anything.
He said he went white in his 20s.
Really?
Yeah, and he was just like, fuck it.
Works for him.
Yeah.
It's probably great for his stand-up.
He looks like my neighbor. It's weird. It's not weird, it's just like my neighbor Mark and Steve look like almost identical. Yeah, so the movie is your basic gotta get home and see the family movie, but wacky shit happens.
Starts off with Steve Martin's friends like, you're not gonna make the 6 o'clock flight.
It starts off with him leaving his gloves and him being like, it'll be fine. And it was downhill ever since then. So it starts off with Steve Martin in an ad exec studio place, boardroom, trying to wait for this old man to choose.
And screw them too, because it made me think the sound wasn't working for a sec.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just like a minute of just silence with people's faces and
like
everything.
Mouthing words to each other. You're deaf though, so you couldn't hear them barely whispering under their voices.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
And yeah, the guy winds up saying like he delays Steve just long enough that if he doesn't catch a cab and get to where he's going, he's gonna be late, which is exactly what happens.
Because finally, when he catches the cab,
well, he tries to haggle for the cab with that guy. Like,
yeah,
give me 75.
that was so shitty.
Well,
like,
surely a man who can afford $50 can afford 75. You're a thief.
Not entirely.
I'm an attorney. You know. And then while that's happening, some strange man puts his trunk in the taxi and then gets in and drives off. So Steve Martin chases him down the street, opens the door, and there's a fat guy with a mustache like.
I was telling you this when we were watching it. I guarantee you he probably just showed up on set with a mustache. And everybody's like, what?
Well, I was thinking about that. This John Candy was huge in this movie, and the mustache makes his face look smaller. But there are some angles you see his face, and you're like, dude.
Yeah.
Like
I wasn't even his biggest though.
Yeah, but he looked like if you were that big, I'd be like, all right, we need to have a fucking sit down because this is out of. He had like rolls on his cheeks, fat. Yeah. What was Steve Martin's character's name? I know Del Griffith was John Candy.
Can't remember.
Yeah, because Del is way more. The movie was about Del. Like it was told by Steve Martin about Del, and so he eventually gets a cab or whatever somehow. No, he takes a bus to the airport, and it doesn't matter that he's late because the flight's delayed. And that's when he's sitting there reading the newspaper and he looks across and he sees the guy that stole his cab. Adele instantly is like, oh, I'm sorry. That explains why you were chasing me. Would you like a beer and a hot dog as compensation?
Yeah.
And the guy's like,
Tried to offer him anything.
anything.
I love right when he sees him, he's like, I know you, don't I?
I know, I never forget a name, but
John Candy's great.
Del Griffith's character is like the no matter what the situation is, he's trying to be positive and sociable.
It's funny, we watched that, and like, I just watched an episode of Bob's Burgers where, what's his name? Teddy? That is Teddy. They had an episode just like that where Bob goes around with him and he's getting mad at him. He's talking to everybody. Then at the end, he's like, you know what? Everybody likes you. You're a friendly person.
Well, Bob, I just try and talk to people. Like, yeah, I've seen that episode. That's the moral of this story is like, hey, don't be such an asshole all the time because other people have shit going on.
That was sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've all seen the movie at this point, but John Candy has this amazing ability to make you kind of sit there smiling, laughing with him. But then, because he can switch emotions so easily, like when he gets sad and defeated, you instantly feel it in your heart too.
Yeah, it was like the scene when they were in the restaurant and Steve Martin's character is like talking about, hey, when we put our heads together, we can really. And John Candy's like,
yeah, when we put our heads together,
nothing, and he just did the.
Yeah, you see him like, we're friends. Oh, fuck.
What was the other one too?
There was one where they were drinking to the wives.
Oh, yeah.
And you see him kind of like look at his shoes quickly and then go back to being happy. I like me.
Yeah.
That speech was great.
That was when they were in the hotel room and
and
pretty much Steve Martin just had enough and he's just yelling at him pretty much telling him.
To be fair, Del was 100% in the wrong in all of those situations.
That's why, like, is Del a good guy?
He's what I've been like thinking about recently is like the difference between like bad and evil and the difference between kind and good.
Yeah.
Like a kind person can be evil,
I think a lot of it was unintentionally evil because he kept trying to pay him back. He kept trying to,
because he's a very kind person, but he's not a good person. He's very selfish at times.
I think it's also more he's not argumentative, so he's just like, all right, well, if he wants to.
Well, he tries to do the right thing at all times, and I don't know, he fucks up constantly because he's just not. He doesn't think it through, I guess. Yeah. What a great character. Instantly, as soon as he was like beer and a hot dog, I'd be like, fine, like, all right, you're my friend now.
Just the constant chain smoking.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
It didn't make me want a cigarette because I was looking at a man who I knew who died of like heart problems, probably from overeating and smoking. I was like, I don't like watching this man smoke because I know it's coming.
Yeah, there's certain characters on film where you're watching and be like,
probably put that cigarette down.
Him was just like the depression smoking.
Like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. When you see him and Julian start smoking, you're like, man, I want to drink rum and smoke cigarettes. But you see John Candy and he's like, like, yeah.
It's not Ron Donovan. Was that his name from Mad Men?
Yeah.
I couldn't watch that. I can't watch that show. They smoke too many cigarettes. It just makes me want one.
I thought it was boring. I know.
Well, I watched a couple episodes.
Yeah, me too. I was like, don't see it.
Yeah. It's your thing. It's your thing.
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobile is our thing.
Definitely our thing. 80s as fuck. The soundtrack was so...
Yeah, let's go with the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was really good, and then it got really, really bad for one song. And that song just happened to...
It had the sample of Steve Martin saying...
You messed with the wrong guy over and over.
Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that.
They were thinking it's the 80s.
I feel like this was a movie that they probably didn't think was going to be great.
Yeah,
and then the acting and everything just... Because it got super campy and, like, weird towards the
road trip part, when they were actually in the car together.
Yeah, because there's a scene when they're, like, spinning out or whatever... And it shows like skeletons, and it shows John Candy as the devil.
It's where they're going through the two trucks.
Oh, yeah.
This scene's awesome. I love this scene. I mean, I could have done without the skeleton scene, but just him going like, ah! And then turning, and John Candy's like in a kid's Halloween costume, like, like, I thought that was great.
Yeah, towards the middle of this movie, it just kind of goes, especially with the fire in the car, then they're driving it next scene. It's like... That movie, I like the dog in the truck. Yeah, that was good.
Give me the glove! John Candy, give him my God!
What rated was this movie? Was this PG-13?
Yeah, no, they say fuck, so it's gonna be R.
Yeah, but it was set back in the 80s. It was different back then. All right, so the movie was rated R.
Yeah, told you.
I thought it was one of those 80s things like an Airplane where they show boobs. But
Yeah,
it's still PG.
Airplane is 70s.
Was it in the 70s?
I'm pretty sure it's like late 70s.
Yeah.
Also, nudity is not as bad as swearing and violence, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
So some movies will show you nudity, but they won't show you violence. Some movies will show you violence, but they won't show you nudity.
What's the quote from the South Park movie?
What?
They were like, nudity and violence is okay as long as they don't use strong language or something like that.
That's exactly what it is. Like RoboCop. No, RoboCop has a hard R. Never mind.
Yeah, that was almost rated X.
Yeah.
Remember rated X?
All for that Ed 209 scene. God, the new one was so good. Anyway, back to planes, trains, and automobiles.
What were you saying about him writing it?
Oh yeah, John Hughes wrote the first 60 pages of this in 6 hours on a car trip after having a completely horrible airplane experience, which I assume is the John Candy. Oh, I hate blabbermouths. Nothing I hate more than a guy who doesn't know when to shut up. Just ruins a trip. And
I feel like most best art is written when people are angry or sad. It's like when a musician gets happy, their music kind of...
That's why Kurt Cobain dying was the best thing for Nirvana. Yeah, that's what happened to Electric Wizard. Once Electric Wizard got popular, like the Doom was taken out of their Doom. So it was just like he started fucking this super hot guitarist that became the rhythm guitarist in the band. Hot blonde chick. Like their doom metal started to become a little more metal, and then it was like, what happened to you singing about like committing suicide and shit and really slow and angry? Now it's like
it's become a ska band.
Because he got happy. He got happy. Which is fine, good for Just, but fuck. No more dope throne. Yeah. John Candy's character. Let's focus mainly on him. Just because.
Yeah, because Steve Martin's character is the generic
angry douchebag.
Angry guy who ends up falling.
Like, his character's very like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's the angry guy, then goes too far, then redeems himself and becomes a happy guy.
Yeah, or realizes, because what does Del say to him in the beginning? Like your work, love your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. You're a twig on the shoulders of a river.
How I try to live my life.
I do the opposite. They rage constantly.
Well, that's how I haven't jumped off a bridge yet.
Yeah. You'd make a big old splash.
If I do that swan dive.
Nothing. I was thinking like you jumping off into the LA River and just I don't know why.
I think I'm gonna just go right in.
Just crush. Everyone's like, oh!
Anyway, what were we saying?
Yeah, Del Griffith is one of my favorite characters in fiction. Just because John Candy played him, pretty much. No one else could have done it. We said Farley would have done the funnier bits better, but I don't know if he could do the.
I don't think he was given a chance to do the serious stuff.
He started to try to.
Yeah, but no,
I don't know. Even in Tommy
his last
Boy,
movie was almost Heroes, and it's like that was kind of a downgrade to.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a money project.
But even in Tommy Boy, his big emotional scene wasn't as good as John Candy's big emotional scene.
That's because I don't think he was given the right
role.
No, not even role, just timing. He was still young. He was only like 20 something.
Yeah.
I feel like if he got to John Candy's age where he was in this, he might have actually had a little.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Adam Sandler. Say what you want about his serious movies, but he can turn on the real acting.
When he has I assume when he has a director who has patience, who's waiting, who's willing to.
Now, Adam, I don't want to fruit-a-doo in this scene.
Adam, take 293. Look at the camera, look down, then say okay. Okay. God fucking damn it, Adam. You know what I mean?
Okay, whatever you say.
No, you're supposed to be a quiet guy. Shut the fuck up.
No, I think he's just a genius, and he knows what makes money, and then he's like, all right, I kind of want to make my uncut gems.
Well, you've seen the RLM video on Adam Sandler where they just basically point out that he's fucking grifting hardcore. But you know what? If you do it successfully, I can't complain. What do you think if you had to show someone a scene from this movie to get them interested in the movie, or just to explain why the movie is good? Like one scene to be like, look, this is why this movie's good. This is why you should see it. Which scene would it be?
Maybe the airport scene where he finally sees him for the first time. The what's it called? The motel scene.
Oh, the train scene where he sees him, where they were in the train terminal. Is that what you're saying at the end of the movie? Yeah.
No, at the beginning, because I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, at the beginning when
he's
they
like,
meet.
I know you.
I know you.
But the motel scene when he walks into the thing, that whole scene, just pretty much where they're in there and he's about to take off, and then John Candy like gives him. He's like, I don't care. I like me. That's
Yeah. The fight scene, the argument. I was gonna pick
even the scene
argument.
when he's in the bathroom and he's like looking at all the nasty shit he left.
That whole motel scene was pretty good. I was hoping something would come of the kid robbing them. I was hoping they would, like, John Candy would see him or something.
Yeah.
And just be like, that's a nice jacket you got there or something, you know, and just completely miss it. But whatever.
I feel like this movie seems like there was a lot of scenes they probably didn't put in the movie.
Like the beer can bed scene. Because that just came out. Why did John Candy have a black eye when he was getting out of the truck?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of little things I feel like they had to cut out of this movie.
Yeah. This was back when editing rooms were a little more like, meh, and just cutting scenes left and right.
Yeah. And it was a 93-minute movie, so they probably like, it's going a little above.
It was probably like 93's hour and a half.
Because I feel like back in the day they wanted comedy beats.
It was probably 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And I bet they cut out more drama and added more comedy.
Where did he get the black eye?
Yeah.
Like, did he get it in the car was spinning? Did he get hit or anything?
I don't know. I don't remember him getting punched or anything.
Yeah. And it's right after he gets out of the truckers thing.
And he was like, ooh, the trucker doesn't like when people... I'm thinking maybe there was like a gay blowjob joke where he accidentally like hits a bump and falls in the guy's lap and the guy hits him and then he's like, yeah, he doesn't want us riding up front.
Or maybe the guy just got so nervous he's punched him. He's like, oh, I don't like people in the thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe that's why maybe the guy just didn't like him, but he told him he'd drive him.
That's what I mean. I feel like it was something weird. I like the scene where they wake up spooning.
Yeah.
That was funny.
We've all done it.
Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows. And then, oh,
what'd you think of the Browns game?
You see that Bears game? Yep, going all the way this season, all the way. Try and reclaim your masculinity. Why'd you kiss my ear? Why are you holding my head?
Steve Martin plays the best straight guy.
Yeah, his character's super one-dimensional and boring.
But he plays off the funny guy very well.
John Candy perfectly.
Yeah. Like Chevy Chase. Imagine if Chevy Chase is that.
Chevy Chase would have ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Ghostbusters.
Dan Aykroyd.
Other one. Other famous guy. Who's the most famous guy from Ghostbusters? He was in Groundhog's Day.
Bill Murray.
There we go. Bill Murray would have ruined it.
That hurt my brain.
Bill Murray would have made the movie funnier, but he wouldn't have made it as emotional. Because Bill Murray would be trying to one-up John Candy the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know if Bill Murray... Well, he's done serious movies.
Chevy Chase is not a team player. He would have been trying to one-up John Candy instead of letting John Candy fucking be John Candy.
Yeah. No, this movie was perfectly cast. I feel like Steve Martin did a great job of leaving acting after he made like that.
He did the same thing with stand-up. Once he was like, I'm done with stand-up.
Well, he made that Cheaper by Dozens movie and then the Pink Panther movie, and I think he was just like, you know what?
I made my money.
I'm done.
So the reason I keep bringing up the fact that John Candy is an amazing actor is because his wife's dead, and he gives you subtle hints throughout the entire movie.
I've seen this movie before, but I don't. It's like watching a new movie because I've only seen it once, so I don't remember anything. And like 3/4 of the movie, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, you asked me the first time he was like, oh, I haven't been home in years, and then he was like, what? And he goes, expression. I work too much. Yeah. Then you went, hey, is his wife dead? And I was like, I don't know, man, but like I knew, but I didn't want to tell you. Yeah. Yeah,
the scene when he like Steve. I don't get the end. Does Steve Martin like just go back
to his house?
No, because there's a scene when he goes on the train, but then he ends up at the terminal. Did he go back to the terminal?
he got off the train and got right back on another one and went to go see his friend in the terminal.
Yeah.
That's why when he walks in, John Candy's sitting there like looking very meek and sad, and he's
Disheveled.
like surprised to see him, and he's like, "I thought you were going home," and he's like, "Well,
I don't have.
she's been dead for 8 years," and you're like,
Yeah, the way he delivered that.
you instantly get who his character is with that one delivery.
It sucks because, like, I really wonder what his career would have been. Because you look at John Goodman now. John Goodman's made good movies, but I put him in kind of the same category
As
as
the funny fat guy.
Yeah.
But he got
Like,
serious.
Yeah, but he hasn't done, like,
He got lucky with
Roseanne.
No, Roseanne is yeah, Roseanne was actually really lucky. That show was amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck anyone who hates old Roseanne. They can go fuck
I love
themselves.
Roseanne.
Fuck anyone who tried to cancel Roseanne
It's
too.
fucking wholesome.
Yeah.
Now they have the Connors.
You don't get like that show was kind of like what this movie's about, just like the working class family. Like Del Griffith was a working class man.
Mm.
And Steve Martin was an exec, you know? So like the working class guy is the nicer guy trying to do right by everyone. Whereas, and sure, he's crass. Well, he's not even crass. He doesn't even swear.
Yeah, I don't think he really swear. Like there was, I forgot what he said. There was a scene when like it was like when somebody says friggin',
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't appreciate that kind of language. What about when Steve Martin's character gets punched in the face?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't care. And you see Del like for a split second.
Yeah, he's usually slouching.
He
puffs
puffs
up.
his chest out for you see him get angry.
Boy, I sure am glad I didn't kill you.
Yeah. You see him get angry for a second because he's like, I'm gonna hit your friend again. And you see him like, and you help him up. You know what I mean? And you see the guy be like, okay, like sizing him up and being like,
Grabs him by the balls.
If Del Griffith wanted to be angry, he would fuck people up. John Candy's a big boy.
One of the scenes I would show somebody too is when they're in the motel drinking all the nips.
Yeah, I would show the nip scene. You want to go to Jamaica? What about Mexico? Tequila right away, you know?
That was some movies go too far when you have like a bonding scene in these type of movies. That was perfect because it was just like you had the slow build of the friendship, then you had that one scene when because in the scene Steve Martin swindles his way to get a hotel room, but
Del can't.
Del doesn't have any money.
So Del is gonna sleep in the burnt out car in a snowstorm, and that's when Steve Martin's character finally is like,
So he gets up
Fuck.
and he's like, "You're gonna freeze out there."
and he's
And you
like,
see
no,
Del
I'm
go,
fine. And it's like, and next scene they've raided the hotel bar. They're fucking slamming back nips and eating Doritos out of like.
This is a great mix, right? No, I don't think it is.
It was Doritos and tequila, and he's like, "This is a good mix." No.
That was a great scene.
Didn't he? And then he was like, "Didn't Del start talking about like what's the point of going on in life?" And he was like, "Well, your wife loves you, right? You can grow old with her." And you see Del go, you know, like he does the good like split second. Oh, I remember how depressed I am. Back to smiling. What is there to say? 80s travel sucks. I'm so glad like we don't have to deal with that shit. Fuck buses, fuck trains, fuck planes. I saw a DC-10 in the background. That made me happy.
They don't make those anymore.
Want to
Too
know why?
unsafe.
Yeah, because that top fin just gets ripped off sometimes, and you spin and blow up.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It's cheaper.
It's the risks to get there faster.
Hey, you want 1 hour, 12 hours, you know? Singing on the bus is a scene I would show to people too.
Yeah, it sums up their characters
Because
perfectly.
Steve Martin tries to sing like an old, like, I don't even know what that song Steve Martin was trying to sing. But as soon as it fails, Del goes, Flintstones, and then everyone starts clapping and singing.
That shows society.
You were like, it's a cringy scene to sing on a bus, but then we started talking about times we've been on long trips on buses and we were singing too, and we were like, you know what, it is actually pretty fun.
Depends on your mood.
Depends on your mood, yeah. Like at Boy Scout camp, like during lunch, if someone stood up and went, pack, everyone would start singing the Sandy Beach song, like 500 kids all screaming it at the top of their
I'm
lungs.
sorry, I would have hated that.
No, it was fun because if you did it, everyone had to stand up and sing. So my troop would like, we'd sing it once and we'd literally wait till everyone in the room had finally sat down, and then I'd go, "Pa!" and they'd all get back up again. We did it. We did it to the point of where they were like, "Okay, you're only allowed to sing one song once a meal." So then we sang every song once a meal. I guess final thoughts on the film.
I liked it a lot. Would you recommend this movie?
I would watch this with my family. I'll watch this with my grandparents. If I had kids, I'd watch it with them.
I feel like it's like zany enough where a kid will pay attention to it.
It's wacky enough that a kid will pay attention to it.
Especially like the end half.
Yeah, the end
it
half.
kind of just goes ridiculous.
Not modern kids. Modern kids need lights and colors. This movie's very like womp womp, you know?
Well, that's the thing. They don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah. Because attention spans and IQs have dropped severely.
Like the scene, like I say, it was super goofy and everything, but they actually have scenes where it's just like still like kind of character stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes of characters walking to a room and just talking.
It's not like people waking up in a hotel room, tattoos on their face, and then, oh, a tiger. Oh my god, this.
I actually rewatched Hangover the other day. Fucking laughed.
It's good.
It was good.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of comedy.
It's where it branches off into like the stoner drunk comedies.
Like comedies went from this to American Pie to Hangover. They're just getting dumber.
A video we should do is I think American Pie ruined comedies.
No, because Animal House is just American Pie but older. It's the same thing.
Good.
It's the dumb frat boys. American Pie was just the 90s Animal House. Or 2000s, I should say.
And they made Euro Trip and stuff like that.
Euro Trip, I liked. Just because Tom Green's in it.
Fucking love Tom Green.
I love when he's feeding the rat to the snake.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. This is Tom Green's
Fuck
great.
you. Freddy Got Fingered's a great movie.
Freddy Got Fingered. I like Red Letter Media's theory.
If they didn't do that video, I would have.
We would have done it too. Because I'm pretty sure everyone has the exact same theory that that movie was just a giant fuck you to Hollywood.
Yeah. How much money you gonna give me?
I got the bag of jewels. Look, we have jewels. And it's like, what?
Daddy, you like this? Fucking jerks off like a what was it, a camel?
The horse.
The horse.
Yeah, that scene's fine. But the end of the movie when like it's supposed to be like, what is resolved? And he's like, I have jewels, you know, like I got the jewels, you know. That's the end of the movie. He gets the jewels. Rip Torn.
Girl.
Yeah.
Poor Rip Torn. R.I.P.
He was perfect in that movie, though. What the fuck are you doing? Backwards man.
I guarantee you he hated making that movie.
He's in it. He's been interviewed saying like, I don't fucking get it. Anyway. That was Fanboy and the Snob. We watched this movie.
But yeah, thank you for watching. That was our review of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
More of a discussion.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check our other ones, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
For now, hit that like button. For now, YouTube.
Hey, the like button's always going to be there, but if you want to dislike us,
dislike this video.
nobody will ever know.
No one will ever know. Woo!